Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. The channel has voted, and you all have made it abundantly clear you would like to see a Let's Play of the Devil Mythic Path on this channel. I also did a poll to find out which character you all would like me to roleplay, and he came out just at the very tail end, but it appears Isaac from Castlevania has won that contest. Coming in second place, and the person who was running the contest for most of it, was Gaunter O'Dim from The Witcher 3. But just at the end, he lost, and so we're going to be playing as Isaac. I'm looking forward to it. He's going to be a good man who's trying to do the right thing, but unfortunately, he gets corrupted by evil forces, and it pulls him down in a totally different direction. Now, I've committed to, for this new playthrough, playing with new archetypes for all of the characters that are going to be on my team, and of course Isaac is no exception. We are going to make him a Mantis Zealot. Really looking forward to this. I have completely shit on War Priest for my entire time covering Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I have repeatedly stated I think it is the worst class by far in the game, but I gotta be honest with you, Mantis Zealot looks very interesting, so I'm actually excited about putting together this class. Let's go ahead and get into it. So again, you'll find Mantis Zealot all the way under War Priest. You must use the Archetype deity in order to select this class. My understanding is there's no Archetype reactivity in the game. So it's just for this particular class. You don't get any special dialogue or anything like that. As far as the mechanics for it, it removes the ability for you to channel energy and all sacred armor, but it gives you steady buffs to your ability to use Sawtooth Sabers, which is a new weapon that has just been added to the game. So you're automatically going to get weapon focus, greater weapon focus, weapon specialization, and greater weapon specialization. And you're also going to be able to activate a Red Shroud, which is going to do some healing for you. It's automatically going to give you some concealment when you use it, and it'll trigger some other things as well. When you kill an enemy, you'll automatically have a chance to fascinate nearby enemies, which is going to set them up for additional damage. Just a lot of interesting things going on with this class for sure. All right, so getting it more into the build, obviously his race is going to be human, he's going to be male. For background selection, we're going to go with Acolyte, which absolutely fits Isaac, since he essentially starts as an Acolyte of Dracula. For his attributes, we're going to go with 10 on strength, and then we're going to go with 19 on dexterity, and then we'll do 14 in constitution, 11 on intelligence. We can completely dump charisma, he doesn't need that, but we will give him a 14 on wisdom. And then for his skills, I recommend going lore, religion, persuasion, and perception. All right, getting into the feats, we get 2 feats since we're playing as a human. So we'll start with weapon finesse, so we can actually use our dexterity for our sabers. And then we'll go with 2 weapon fighting. You get 2 blessings as a war priest. I would recommend going with law. It gives you axiomatic strike at first, which is just okay, but then later on it gives you blessing against chaos. As a swift action for 1 round, all allies within 30 feet gain a +4 sacred bonus on AC and saving throws against chaotic opponents. Very nice. And then the other blessing we'll take is evil. It gives you an unholy strike, which is okay, but I like the fact that we can summon a battle companion, because I think that fits very well with Isaac's character. All right, so now that we're finished with level 1, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the build. At level 3, you're going to go ahead and take combat reflexes. Your dexterity modifier should be sky high, so this will give you a ton of attacks of opportunity every single round. And then at level 5, you're going to go ahead and take piranha strike. Usually you would take power attack, because it unlocks a bunch of useful feats, but none of those feats help with this build, and Piranha Strike is more so geared towards light weapons, so it makes more sense here for what we're doing. At level 6, you're going to go ahead and take Improved to Weapon Fighting, which will give you a second attack, although it will have a -5 penalty, but that is something you should be able to absorb. And then at level of 7, of course, you're going to take Outflank, which is going to increase the attack roll bonus you get when flanking enemies. Very, very vital for any melee combatant. And then at level 9, you're going to take Dazzling Display. We'll never use it, but it's required to unlock another useful feat. At level 11, we're going to take Double Slice. Now, usually at this level, you would take Improved Critical, but because of the way the Mythic path is going to work out, we're going to have to take Improved Critical much later than usual, and I feel like on its own, the Improved Critical feat doesn't give you as much consistent damage as Double Slice would, so I think it makes more sense to take Double Slice here. Now, Double Slice is going to add your dexterity bonus to the damage rolls made with your offhand weapon. It says strength, but it'll count as dexterity if the game recognizes you as using a finesse weapon that will take your dexterity modifier. Keep in mind, this won't work until you've taken the mythic feat that's necessary in order for you to use your dexterity modifier instead of strength modifier for damage, which is why we take Double Slice so late in the game. This will probably all make more sense once we look at the mythic feats and abilities that I selected. And then at level 13, we take Shattered Defenses, which allows you anytime when you're attacking a shaken or frightened opponent, when you hit them, they'll be flat-footed against your attacks, which means they're going to lose their bonus to AC from dexterity. There are a lot of enemies whose AC basically depends on that dexterity bonus, so this is very, very powerful. You can only get it if you select Dazzling Display. Darren is going to be an inciter for our group. He'll be right up front, and I'm pretty sure he has Frightened Aspect, which will allow him to shake in all nearby enemies. So we should be able to trigger this very consistently. Then at level 15, we're going to take Light Armor Focus. We don't really care about the +1 bonus to AC, but it unlocks a mythic feat, which is very useful. And then we finally take Improved Critical Sawtooth Saber. Next up at level 17, we'll take Graded to Weapon Fighting. It gives you a third attack, but it has a -10 penalty to attack, so you're not going to hit with it all that often, but there's no reason to leave an attack on the table, which is why we go ahead and pick it up here. And then at level 18, we go ahead and pick up Penetrating Strike, which allows you to ignore up to 5 points of damage reduction. And then for level 19, we take Greater Penetrating Strike to increase that bonus up to 10. For these last two feats, you could select something else if you wanted to. I felt like based on what was available, this is what made sense. You could have taken something like Improved Initiative, but I think you get plenty of initiative already just from having such a high dexterity. You could have taken Hammer the Gap, but I think Hammer the Gap works better for archery characters. So to me, these are the ones that fit the most here. And then looking at the mythic path, of course, we're going to start out as Aeon. First thing we're going to take is Ever Ready. We're going to get a ton of attacks of opportunity, and Ever Ready will help to ensure that we actually connect when we use them. At level 2, we take 2-weapon fighting Mythic, which is going to reduce the penalty on attack rolls for fighting with 2 weapons by 2. This is pretty much required in order for you to be able to hit when you're using 2 weapons. So unfortunately, I just didn't feel like there was any way to be able to delay this. At level 3, we're going to take a Last Stand. Once per day when your HP drops low, you become unkillable. This definitely helps to improve your survivability. We also officially choose Aeon at 3, so you're going to get an Enforcing Gaze. I took damage to help make up for the damage that we won't be able to deal for the first few levels of the game. And then finally at level 4, we're going to get Weapon Finesse Mythic, which allows us to use our dexterity modifier instead of our strength modifier on damage rolls. So once you have this and you're able to couple this with Double Slice, you're going to deal a lot more damage. So unfortunately, the first 11 or so levels are probably going to be a bit more painful for me. I'll probably depend more on party members' damage than my own. But by this point, I should be a monster, and then absolutely by late game, we'll be rocking and rolling. In first engage, we're going to take attack to make it easier to connect with attacks, obviously. And then for the next mythic level, take an inspirational leader. I think this fits right in with Isaac, inspiring everyone around him to be able to do better. And then we'll take the save DC and force engage, just in case Nanio needs some additional help connecting with some of her enchantment crowd control spells. And then at the next level, we'll finally get to improve critical mythic Sawtooth Saber. So we should be taking improved critical around this time to ensure that the mythic feat is available. And we'll also take relativity of space, which will give our team some additional survivability. Keep in mind also that Aeon will give you an extra gaze at this point, so you'll be able to activate 2 of these gazes with a swift attack at one time instead of doing them one at a time. So that's going to be very, very powerful. For the next mythic level, we're going to get Mythic Charge. As a melee combatant, we should be charging all the time. And then we're also going to just take Power of Law in case we need a little bit of help with rolls. I don't envision using this all that often. At the next mythic level, we're finally going to become a demon, so we'll get the Hell's Decree and Hell's Dominance, along with taking Mythic Armor Focus Light Armor Assault, which is going to allow us to use half of our armor's AC as a bonus to attack and damage rolls. Very, very nice. So we're definitely going to want to make sure Isaac has the best light armor he possibly can. And then finally at mythic level 9, we're going to get the Hell's Seals and Hell's Vengeance from Devil, along with keeping all of the previous things from Aeon, by the way. And we're going to go ahead and take Spellcaster's Onslaught. When you cast a spell, your next attack roll and damage roll if the attack hits, made with a weapon until the end of the next round, gains a bonus equal to half your mythic rank. So at this point, it would be a bonus of 4. War priests are able to cast some spells with a swift action. So basically, I could cast a spell with a swift action and then do a full action where the initial attack has this +4 bonus. Could be very powerful against some bosses that are really, really hard to hit. So I figured it was worth taking. And then finally, we can go through the items that I have. By no means whatsoever is this optimized. I'll have to figure out what items really work well for this build as I go through the game. So I'm really providing this build so you all are able to easily follow along with it while we do the Let's Play. But we'll have to figure out what really works for this type of character. So for the necklace slot, of course, I got the amulet that adds a +2 bonus to his ability score. Of course, I would have him wearing light armor, but I don't have any good light armor, so I could just throw this on. But it's a very low level armor. We'll have to figure out what works better for him. On the brink of death, whenever his health is below 50, each attack against him has a chance to reflect damage. Always useful for a melee combatant. The belt gives him a +6 to dexterity and constitution. The gloves give him a +3 damage bonus when he's dual wielding, which of course he is. Boost of Stampede don't really help him. It makes his ranks in athletics count as a bonus to the damage roll and successful charge attack, but obviously he's not focusing on athletics. I'll probably put that on somebody else, like Seela maybe. The headband gives him a +4 enhancement bonus on his wisdom, along with intelligence and charisma. The goggles give him a +10 competence bonus on perception. I might stay with this on him, or I might stick it on whatever character is responsible for trickery. I think it's going to be either Regal or Windewalk. So either way, though, it's always nice to have a character with high perception. Cloak resistance +5. There should be cloak resistance +6 somewhere around here. That's probably what I'll end up sticking on him. Enlivening leadership +5 competence bonus on persuasion. I like having my main character as someone who's good in persuasion, and so I was cool with having this ring on him, but I'll probably find other better options. And it also gives a +1 morale bonus on all skill checks, so definitely not bad to have. And then he's got a ring of protection +5. Somewhere around here is the ring of summoning that I think gives a +2 bonus to attack on all weapons. I might stick that on here instead. We'll see. And then for the bracers, I'm going to use the one that gives a +3 bonus on damage rolls with the offhand weapon when dual wielding. Of course, that's nice for him. And obviously he's going to be using 2 Sawtooth Sabers. So unfortunately, the only ones I have access to right now are these +2 options, but later on in the game, I'll get much better ones. And that's it. That is the build that I plan to run with for our Let's Play. I feel very, very confident that this is going to work, so I'm looking forward to it. Once we're finished with the Let's Play, I will do a follow-up video for all of the builds that I use on the party members to let you all know if there's anything I feel like doesn't work or should be changed. But for right now, this is what I plan to go with. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment. Is this the type of build that you would use for Mantis Zealot? Do you have any recommendations on what you feel like I should have done better? Absolutely, let me know. I'm looking forward to the feedback, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.